Lake North Korea. Yes, that's right. The destination that we have taken is Heaven Lake, North Korea. It is also one of the leading attractions of the tourism market of the North Korean region. It lies within a caldera atop the volcanic Paektu mountain. It is a part of the Baekdudaegan mountain range and the Shangbei mountain range. Heaven Lake of North Korea is undeniably one of the most popular yet dangerous places to visit in the town. The master plan that we have come up with is divided into 6 stages, and each stage would be explained briefly in the coming time. Coming to stage 1, which is the nature and features, we are going to start with the nature, scope, size of Heaven Lake, and later come across features such as location, significance, underdeveloped destinations, and restrictions on travel. We will also discuss a few problems which the destination is currently facing and potential solutions for the same, which can help our destinations to grow without harming any local resources and instead make it work for benefiting the local resources and surroundings. The caldera, which contains Heaven Lake, was created by 946 eruptions of the Paektu mountain. When talking about the significance of the destination, Heaven Lake fills the deepest crater lake in the world. And because of this reason, this exact same reason, it is also one of the coldest. It is the source of the two longest Korean rivers, Amnok, which is 803 kilometers in area, and Tumen, which is 521 kilometers in area, and which also serve as Sino-Korean border almost over its entire length. The lake also has a surface elevation of 2189 meters, and it covers an area of 9.82 square kilometers. The average depth of the lake is 213 meters, which is approximately 699 feet, and the maximum feet would go up to 1260 feet. It is typically covered with ice. When we talk about this destination in terms of underdeveloped North Korean citizens, it usually cannot allow the travel and trade of tourists and tourism activities freely around the country. Emigration and immigration are strictly controlled. This is because the North Korean government treats immigrants from the country as defectors. Thus, the destination being underdeveloped, only from 2,000 to 4,000 Western tourists visit Heaven Lake each year. When we come across the restrictions for travel, there is a main aspect that we keep in mind, being the principle that any person is allowed to travel to North Korea. Only South Koreans and journalists are routinely denied. Although there have been some exceptions for journalists, visitors are not allowed to travel outside designated tour areas without their Korean guidelines. Now let us jump to the stage 2 of our master plan, which talks about market analysis. When we talk about market analysis, we first look into the identification of problems that affect the so-called tourist destination. There are various problems and crises that Heaven Lake faces similar to other destinations. To start off with, the low standard facilities such as taking 6 to 7 hours on land to get to Heaven Lake from the nearest airport. It would be inaccurate to describe North Korea's hotels as completely backwards, but nonetheless, they are inferior by global standards. Getting to Heaven Lake is troublesome as discussed earlier. Unfamiliar guests must commit a lot of effort to discover traveler bundles that highlight the tourist destination as a goal. Since North Korea is so distant from Europe and North America, travel costs a great deal of time and cash. And nevertheless, North Korea itself is likewise risky. North Korea holds no appeal for wealthy tourists coming from developed Western regions. Hence, the tourist destination itself is likewise risky. When talking about the reputation aspect, North Korea's reputation has been tarnished globally through issues such as its nuclear weapons or human rights violations. The majority of people around the world view travel to North Korea as dangerous and a very bad idea, which is not something one should be astonished about. When analyzing the market on the basis of SWOT analysis, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of Heaven Lake can be described as destinations which aren't yet visited by the tourists from all over the world, nor do they have a suitable climate for tourism activities. The weaknesses can be government interventions, rigid tourism policies, ideologies, trade embargoes, and weak infrastructure. One of the major threats faced is the ever flourishing tourist destination that is around the region of North Korea that comprises of neighboring countries like China, India, Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand. Coming to stage 3, where we have design strategies, there are various designing strategies such as a marketing strategy and revival strategy. Hosting a blogger trip is one of the main marketing strategy as hosting a blogger trip will help to elucidate and propagate the various exotic destinations. Master referral marketing is a very good way of informal communication and people often believe that if a website comes up in the top of the search list, it is the best, even though it isn't correct, at least not totally. The revival strategies that can be undertaken are as follows: establishment of a tourism board and DMO, because North Korea lacks a proper functioning tourism board and the area of Heaven Lake has no destination management organization to be managed effectively. Number 2, advanced security. Increased efforts for security and customs, enforcing contraband against the smuggled goods will be a very good measure, and setting up a special personalized force for the tourists and keeping up super special supervision for them. Number 3, liberalization. The government should take private intervention for the development of Heaven Lake as the area has huge potential. It should also lift up trade embargoes with various countries and open up the tourism for the FDIs and FIIs. Number 3, strategic partnership. The partnership should be such that all the people from various nations who want to visit North Korea can get clearance from the embassy present in the South Korea. This way, there's a first phase setup wherein the country can take charge of the customs and security with minimal interferences of North Korea, the cost of which will be bared by the North Korean government itself. Number 4, monetary penalties. Such penalties that the government should eliminate or keep the punishments for any criminal offense to minimal or penalizing the tourist offenders financially should be brought up. Next, we come to the rebranding and promotion of the destination. The destination should be rebranded as a tourist destination and should not be open to other promotions of any kind. Stage 4, analysis of destination potential. Lake Heaven has an enormous potential in being one of the most visited travelers' destinations around the globe. In 2011, North Korea endeavored to re-evaluate itself as a traveler goal destination in an offer to draw in vacationers just as unfamiliar speculations were on the rise. That equivalent year, the socialist country held a bike visit, a journey, and few regular visits. An expected 5,000 Western vacationers, which were significantly more Chinese, keep on making the outing every year. Vacationers must join an approved visit, painstakingly intended to exhibit the DPRK in its best light. Controls remain carefully set up. Indeed, even as of recent times, sightseers are broadly checked and photography and association with local people are generally illegal. In any case, North Korea is determined to solidify its situation as a traveler goal like different pieces of Asia. The nation planned to draw in about 20 lakh vacationers by 2020. Yet it appears to be very troublesome now because of the pandemic. Visit suppliers declare the travel industry in North Korea expelled. And it is a shame that the individuals host about the socialist gatherings and the other way around. Coming to the next stage, stage 5, we talk about the financial plan. Under the financial plan, we have three topmost prioritized things that we have to take care of. Number one, priority investments. Number two, funding the gap. Number three, joint ventures and community investments. While prioritizing our investments, we need to focus on the development of the regions that have to be taken care of urgently. While funding the gap, we must take care of all the fundings that have been coming inside the government for the destination. We also seek joint ventures and community investments other than governmental institutions. These companies might be privatized. Here we have also shown and described various charts that compare and analyze certain trends revolving around our tourist destinations. We have also given a clear 10-year budget that can help foresee things now itself. Last but not the least, we talk about the development of allies. In this stage, we try to explain how important it is to make allies so that even in the short run, we can run the tourist destination successfully. While developing allies, we keep in mind the types of allies that we need to look for. They are travel partners, various different types of investors, and triple Ps. Triple Ps include policies such as FIIs, FDIs, and triple Ps. For investors, we would like to approach roller investors, ACL investors, and fever investors for fundings. While making partners, we would like to approach accommodation partners as Marriott, activity partners as Citizen Adventures, entertainment partners as Expedia, and logistic partners as DHL. And that's the end of our master plan that we have in mind for Heaven's Lake. Thank you.